Closing Table with Loans by Katrina. Welcome back. This episode, we are talking about business and faith. Now, I don't want you to think we're talking about church because it's not just church, but faith in business. What does that look like? Do you have faith in your business? Are you trying to segment and put God in a box or something like that where you're like, well, this part of my life doesn't bleed over into this? I'm going to tell you, in every area of my life I show up, He is in it. He is a part of it. Because for me, it's no separation, like really and truly. The same God I pray to, is the same God who directs my contracts, who directs my loans, who covers my son, my husband, my marriage, my loved ones, and know that if you're affiliated or connected, I'm praying for you. So don't worry. So today, we're going to talk about what it really means to walk by faith in business and why God still has to get the glory for everything that we do. Because do you think that you are, whatever business you're in, if you're an educator, do you think your students are making those grades and scores just because you're just magnificent? No, God has His hand in it. If you're a real estate agent, did you get all those closings just because you're that girl or you're that guy? No, He is in it. Same thing with loans. He is in everything that I do. So I want to talk about the call, not the career. Okay, so let's back up. Many people know that I am a educator by heart and by nature. I'm a 22-year educator. That is my foundation. Love it, can't ever get away from it. It shows up in everything that I do, whether it's ministry, loans, whatever it is, the teacher comes out in me. And I love that. I used to hide from it, but not anymore. I did not become a loan officer and the other things, but loan officer specific because that's when the pivot occurred. So I want to be very clear because I was, like I told you, serial entrepreneur. I did a lot of things. Network marketing, I did well. Real estate agent, did well. But there was a pivot. There was something that needed to look different for me in my life, and I did not understand it as I was going through it. But He had a plan, and of course, His plans are greater than ours. So loan officer, again, not sexy, nothing about numbers and talking about credit and all of that. That's not something people just love to do, but I do. I enjoy it. It was like when the light bulb clicked for me, it was like putting pieces of a puzzle together and remembering when I was that person that was trying to purchase a house for the first time. Remember, I told you my mom was 16 when she had me. By the time I became an adult, she had purchased her first home. But just like me, when I purchased my first home, I did it. I had someone help me, but I really didn't understand it. I didn't know what the documents were that I signed. I was just happy to be in it, and I knew I was paying my mortgage. But I thought about that. I'm like, Lord, when people are making this great big decision, they should be empowered so that they know everything that's going on, not just happy to get in and then they don't understand and they're Googling and chat GPT and to try to figure it out. No, no, no. In 2021, post-COVID, God opened that door and He said, walk, walk. 2021 was a rough year for me. I had been helping my uncle. He was in the process of transitioning, which I did not know at the time. I just knew we were getting his affairs in order. So I'm like, Lord, you got me playing lawyer over here, but you're talking about become a loan officer. Door open. It was shared with me. There was hesitation because it was shared with me twice. I accepted the second time. It was a stretching. I was like, are people going to see me as a loan officer? Because they saw me in this capacity. So that's different. Is there any legal issues with being a realtor and a loan officer? God was like, don't worry about that. So I did my due diligence after walking. It was just the unknown. I prayed about it. He showed me the sign. I moved. He didn't show me every facet of it, and that was okay with me. I just moved and I did what I needed to do. And I promise you, the doors opened. The alignment happened because I wasn't waiting on the applause. I wasn't waiting on a big grand announcement for it to happen. It wasn't about elevation at all. It was about, again, obedience. I think you see a trend, and as I'm talking in podcast 1 and 2, like you saw it, we're talking about obedience. So do it. Do it scared. Do it, do it, do it. When He gives us an instruction, sometimes it doesn't make sense on paper. So to write it all out for me as I was like, I've been in real estate for over 15 years. Why would I pivot and switch? I've been doing this, or I thought I was going to do something that was going to be grander. And he was like, what is more grand than helping people with that biggest financial decision of their life from a different vantage point? Listen, I passed that test the day that my uncle passed away. A few days later, took care of his arrangements and everything, got all the stuff in order because we had been working on everything. So it was pretty much in order. And I was like, okay, I need time to process, grieve. And God was like, I got you. Just keep moving forward. And I did take my time. I did grieve. I did all the things. I was looking at that point for a place to hang my license. Like, where was I going to go? Because even though I passed the test, it was like, okay, I still need somewhere that's going to be nurturing, that's going to help me, that's going to have that positive atmosphere. And I did. At that time, I found Master's Home Mortgage based here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I was like, okay, the broker owner, he was amazing. He helped me. He gave me the guidance that I needed. And then I got to a point, and actually, in him bringing me on, I met this gentleman by the name of Mackenzie Barrett. He was amazing. He spoke life into me when I didn't even know. I'm like, you're telling me what I'm going to be, and I'm just getting started. I don't understand. He was like, Katrina, I just see something different for you and from you in this industry. You're going to be amazing. I'm like, okay, but just show me how to do the loan. And he walked with me and talked with me and gave me that advice. And every time I came to a fork in the road after prayer, I consulted with him until, what was it, a year and a half ago? I was at that fork in the road. Business was scaling. I needed something different. And that's where the door for Safe Trust Mortgage opened for me, and I walked right through it. Now, this is the thing that I tell people. If you're making a decision and you're like, okay, I need to go to this company or that company, where am I going to hang my license? Where am I going to start my business? Where am I going to do? It's not about the biggest thing, or at least it wasn't for me. When I prayed about it and got into alignment, I started with the boutique, and I just went to scale up, and I got that same environment, that same nurturing environment, that same environment where I would be able to get assistance, where my clients would be able to not have to wait. So that's what it was for me. It wasn't about the biggest anything, but it was about the best fit. It was about integrity. It was about character. It was about reputation. And Safe Trust had that reputation. They were known for great customer service, for being smart, educated, having people in the office that worked in other capacities of lending. So it gave me a leg up. And I was like, this is what I needed, just a scaling the amount of processors and everything. I was like, okay, the culture is what it was for me. Also, transparency. I needed to know what they stood for. They came right out with their pillars. They let me know what the business was founded on and branded on, and everybody was young and exciting and eager to help one another. It was about service over sales. So that was good for me, because if you are, again, stewarding somebody's largest financial decision of their life, you don't need to do it for the gram. You don't need to do it for Facebook. You need to make sure that these people are going to be well, and you are adequately equipped to give them what they need. And that's what I was in search of, and that's what I got at Safe Trust. So, the burden. There came a point when I saw how much misinformation people had. Like I said, even myself. I bought, I think I'm on my 6th house now. The next purchase will be 7th. I really did not understand the process. I just signed the papers. Like, the amount of people who are or don't even know that they are ready to purchase, or what it looks like, talking about credit. Like, for me, I said, you know what? I want people to understand the process. I want to be able to support them. I saw so much fear, so much intimidation, because people were using these big words, and they were talking about, hey, it's DTI. It's this, it's LTV. And the average person is like, what does that mean? I need you to break it down for me in layman's terms. So again, another one of my value propositions, knowledge and access and honesty, and explaining it so that, sometimes we're not ready, but that's okay. Delayed, not denial. But I'm going to tell you why, so that we can guide you through the process of getting ready. It wasn't about transactions for me ever. It was about transformation. And all of the homes that I have helped people to purchase, and all of the families that were able to show their children that we can be homeowners too, I think that's where it just clicks for me, and it just makes me feel like so good and so warm, especially when they come back and we have the conversations and they become my family, my extended family, because I get to know them. I get to know a lot about them, and they get to know about a lot about me. We have conversations, not just the financial part, but again, remember I told you I build relationships. My husband would say he builds generational relationships. We get to know your aunt, your cousin, your extended family. We're coming to the wedding, we're coming to the baby shower, all of that, because it's not just about the transaction. The Bible says, to whom much is given, much is required. Knowledge is truly a gift. Now, knowledge without integrity is manipulation. I'm not trying to manipulate anybody. And there were, unfortunately, transactions that I was in when I was first buying my own home, where I wasn't a realtor at the time, where I was like, did they take advantage of me? Because I didn't really understand what equity was. I didn't understand exactly what I was doing. And I didn't know this, that, and the other thing. But I get to change that. God gave me an opportunity to be able to help. He didn't place me here to pressure a soul, and I don't. I give people options, and I always say, you will be in the driver's seat. You get to decide. I'm just going to give you the information, and I'm going to be here to support you. Now, most people, if I'm being honest, they're like, Katrina, what would you do? I will share, but I want you to go back. I want you to think about it. I want you to pray about it. And I always say, bring everybody to the table that's going to make a decision, so we can all be educated and have the same information and know which direction we're going. But the decision is always on them. God placed me here to protect, not to pressure. There's no pressure in Loans by Katrina, and that I stand on. But there is obedience in business still. There are certain things that I have to do, that I'm called and required to do, beyond what the NMLS may say, or whatever the case may be, whatever the state regulatory system may say. I can't be reckless in what I do, because it's bigger than the transaction. I can't push somebody into a loan that is not the best loan for them. Not just today. We're thinking about tomorrow. We're thinking about their future as well. I don't ignore numbers. I don't ignore structure. I don't ignore wisdom. I am looking at being obedient so that I can make sure I'm doing what's best. I pray before those partnerships. I have over 30 realtor partners. I pray over all of them, because everybody isn't my realtor partner. And I want them to make sure they're making a good decision when they're choosing Loans by Katrina. Before I run credit, before I do anything, I'm praying about my clients. They might not even know, but I am. I'm praying harder about their credit than I pray about my own. I ask God for expansion when it's time for me to scale, when I needed an assistant. I couldn't hire anybody. I'm like, Lord, bring the person that's supposed to work with me, because I have to protect my ear gate. I have to protect what I see. I have to protect who's putting information out in the world for me. I have to protect my conversations. And understanding that sometimes I have to pause when he says, wait, hold up, not right now. And even in seasons where it's been slower, it's like, okay, should I do this? Should I do that? And God is like, you've done all the things. Now be still and watch me work. And sometimes the pause, I don't know who this nugget is for. It's for you to reboot, to recalibrate, to get your mind back right where it needs to be. Because sometimes we forget, we lose focus, and we drift off, and we're like, well, dang, how did I get way over here? It's just like being in the water, in the ocean. If you're floating and you see the buoy right here, and you close your eyes and you lay your head back and you open them up, and it's been 30 seconds and you're like 10 meters down, it's like, how did I get here? Because it's just so slow, and that's how life will just move us. And we'll see the things, and our eyes will be seeing, and we'll be thinking we're supposed to do, and it's like, I'm off track. Sometimes he'll reboot us, and I'm here for the reboot. Now, wealth with faith. I understand generational wealth a little bit different now that I'm a mother and a nana. When I'm helping somebody purchase their home, I'm not just helping them buy property. It's a stability, a sustainability. It looks different for them to have that place where their family can come gather, where they can make memories, where their children can say, you know what, I don't want to be a lifelong renter. I want something of my own so that I can be able to pass it off. I want to be able to have a home that builds equity where if I need to open or if I want to open a business, I can pull the money out of my house. I don't have to borrow from someone else. I can borrow from myself. Those are the kind of lessons, those are the kind of opportunities. And I take that seriously because stewardship is sacred. I want to make sure I am doing it well. My ultimate end is for God to say, well done to me. When I lay down at night, I want to know that somebody made the right decision because I gave them good advice, or the right decision for them because I gave them good advice. I gave them the information they needed to get it done. Everything that I have built from 2007 and starting real estate until 2001 and becoming a loan officer, as I sit here and I think about it, none of it would have existed without obedience. And I can't say that all the time I did it the right way the first time, because I didn't. But every day that I wake up, I'm learning to move swiftly when he says move. But all of it, everything, it was from obedience. It was faith. It was understanding whose I am and who is in control. And obedience doesn't always look dramatic. It doesn't. It doesn't. Sometimes it's showing up, it's learning, it's growing, it's stretching, it's repenting, and it's adjusting, especially when we feel like it's about us. We're the it factor, because we're not. But he will use us to guide and help someone else. And that's the biggest reward, the biggest. So, walking by faith, it means that the promotion, recognizing that the promotion, it wasn't just about you. It was about him positioning you so that you can help the next person. So we can't forget that we started somewhere. When that person walks in that's green, that doesn't understand, that doesn't know, that has no idea of all of the jargon and the language that we're using. The favor wasn't ours, it's his. He gave us the favor. Wisdom, he gave it to us. It was all entrusted. Like, we don't just get it just because he's giving it to us. When clients close that door, when they open the doors to their home, when those partnerships align, I don't celebrate me first, ever. He gets the glory, because this is also a part of my ministry, regardless of what it looks like to anybody else. So, in our next episode, I'm going to break down what it is to experience Loans by Katrina. I talk about the Loans by Katrina experience, but I want you to know exactly what it is, what those components are, which are honesty, access, and knowledge, and how faith has shaped every part of it, every single part of it. And as always, how God gets the glory. So I will see you soon, because you do have a seat at the closing table. Bye-bye.